Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brandi Shanae, and today I want to share with you my May book haul, so please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you pretty much my May book haul. These are all the books that I have acquired in May. I think I did a pretty good job as far as like book buying. I really didn't buy a lot of books this month. I'm trying to cut down a bit on buying books and try to read books that are already on my bookshelves. Some of these books I had gotten from Book of the Month, some are pre-orders, and some that I won from giveaways on Twitter and what have you, and also from publishers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this first book. So the first book that I want to share with you, I had pre-ordered this book and I cannot wait to read this. I wanted to read it for the Asian Readathon, but I feel like I'm not going to finish it in time. So it's going to probably fall into June. But that is Tokyo Ever After by Miko Jean. This is one of my anticipated reads of this year. I absolutely love this cover. It's so vibrant. I love the blue and everything with it. And also, since I pre-ordered it, I had also gotten a free pin, which I had posted my picture of that with this book on Instagram. So if you haven't followed me, go ahead and do so. You'll see all the amazing pictures that I try to do for Bookstagram. But here is this beautiful cover. And if you take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like right here. And then also I can go ahead and read the synopsis for you if you have not heard about this book or don't know what it's about. So it says, Azumi Tanaka has never really has never really fit in. It says it's not easy being Japanese American in her small, mostly white Northern California town. Raised by a single mother, Izumi, or Izzy, because it's easier this way, has always felt it's been her and her mom against the world. But then Izumi discovers a clue to her previously unknown father's identity, and he's none other than the Crown Prince of Japan, which means outspoken, irreverent Izzy is literally a princess. In a whirlwind, Izumi travels to Japan to meet the father she never knew and discover the country she always dreamed of. But being a princess isn't all ball gowns and tiaras. There are conniving cousins, a hungry press, a scowling but handsome bodyguard who just might be her soulmate, and thousands of years of tradition and customs to learn practically overnight. Izumi soon finds herself caught between worlds and between versions of herself. Back home, she was never American enough, and in Japan, she must prove she's Japanese enough. Will Izumi crumble under the weight of the crown, or will she live out her fairy tale happily ever after? So just with this storyline alone, I really was intrigued about it. I wanted to read it just because it really was intriguing, especially when you go to America and they said you're not American enough, and when you go to the country that you're technically from, they say you're not Japanese enough and stuff like that. It's just, I find that very, very disturbing how that is, and how this world is, how society has it all going for people. If they're not Japanese enough, they're not black enough, just things like that. That is very troubling to me. But that's just the way of the world, unfortunately. So I definitely looking forward to reading this. I'm so sad that I didn't get to read it in May, but like I said, it'll be following into June for this book. So I got this book. Next book, I had won this from a giveaway on Twitter, and that is Where the Rhythm Takes You. This is by Sarah Doss. This is also one of my anticipated reads of this year. And and just look at the cover. I love it so much, especially the birds. Like, okay, blue is my favorite color, so I just can't deny the birds up here. But I just love the cover overall. It's very vibrant, a lot of orange and tropical looking. So I got this book, and then if you take the dust jacket off, this is what it looks like right here. And then I'll also read the synopsis for this book as well. So it says, 17-year-old Reina has spent most of her life at the Plumeria. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. At the Plumeria, her family's gorgeous seaside resort in Tobago. But what once seemed like paradise is starting to feel more like purgatory. It's been 2 years since Reina's mother passed away. 2 years since Aiden, her childhood best friend, first kiss, first love, first everything, left the island to pursue his music dreams. Reina's friends are all planning their futures and heading abroad. Even Daddy seems to want to move on, leaving her to try to keep the Plumeria running. And that's when Aiden comes roaring back into her life as a VIP guest as at the resort. Aiden is now 1/3 of DJ Pachano, the latest, hottest music group on the scene, while Reina has stayed exactly where he left her. Aiden has returned to Tobago with his Grammy-nominated band and 2 gorgeous LA socialites, and he may or may not be dating one of them. Inspired by Jane Austen's Persuasion, Where the Rhythm Takes You is a romantic, mesmerizing novel of first love and second chances. So I'm going to say this is a romance book, which I'm all for romance so much. And just the cover, I think, really got me going to wanting to read this anyways. I really didn't know the storyline of what the story is about, but I'm glad that I won this, and I'm looking forward to reading this as well. So this is probably going to be another book that I'll be reading in June, possibly. Next book I'm actually currently reading now. I'm trying to finish this before the month is over, and that is Ariatni. Like in my previous video I said Ariadne, but I think it's Ariatni when I looked it up, and everybody else is saying it, so I'm going to stick with that, Ariatni. And this is pretty much going back with talking about Greek mythology. I'm not deep into it. I'm only like in the first 50 pages of the book, where it talks about Ariadne and her relationship with her sister and her brother, who is a minotaur, and her dad, Minos. And he's the king of Crete. And pretty much what I'm gathering from the book is pretty much she doesn't want to be left. She doesn't want to marry someone and leave without her little sister. So we have that. So that's where I am right now. But I'll read the synopsis for you anyway. So it says, Ariadne, princess of Crete, grows up greeting the dawn from her beautiful dancing floor and listening to her nursemaid stories of gods and heroes. But beneath her golden palace echo the ever-present hoofbeats of her brother, the Minotaur, a monster who demands blood sacrifice. When Theseus, the prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the beast, Ariadne sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. Defying the gods, betraying her family and country, and risking everything for love, Ariadne helps Theseus kill the Minotaur. But will Ariadne's decision ensure her happy ending? And what of Phaedra, the beloved younger sister she leaves behind? Hypnotic, propulsive, and utterly transporting, Jennifer Saint's Ariadne forges a new epic, one that puts the forgotten women of Greek mythology back at the heart of the story as they strive for a better world. So yes, so I really enjoyed this book. I believe this is Jennifer Saint's debut book, and I'm really enjoying it. I really love Greek mythology. I had taken a couple of courses regarding Greek mythology. I know just a little bit about it. I wish I pursued it even more further, but I have a little bit of knowledge about it, just not as deep as I want to be. But I did take a couple courses regarding Greek mythology for my degree, my history degree. But yes, so I'm loving it so far, and I definitely can see this. Hopefully this can be a 5-star read for me, but I'm loving it. Next book, which, oh, by the way, this is also from Book of the Month. So this is was one of my books that I picked for the Book of the Month. And then I also got this for my Book of the Month as my second pick, and that is The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zoe Axelrod. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But this is also one of the books I wanted to read this year. I was planning on reading it in June, but I have a feeling I might read it in July, because I have a lot of books. There's a lot of books coming out in June that I really want to get my hands on to read. So this might be pushed back into July. But I just love this cover overall. It's gorgeous. And also, let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. And so it says, growing up in dive bars all along the East Coast, Toni Bennett's guitar was her only companion until she met Sebastian Quick. Seb was a little older, a little wiser, and before long, he was Toni's way out, promising they'd escape their stifling small town together. Then Seb turned 18 and split without looking back. Now Toni's all grown up and making a name for herself in Philadelphia's indie music scene. When a friend suggests she try out for a hot new up-and-coming band, Toni decides to take a chance. Strong, feminist, and fierce as fire, Toni B and the Lilies are the perfect match, except Seb's now moonlighting as their manager. Whatever, Toni can handle it, no problem. Or it wouldn't be if Seb didn't still hold a piece of her heart, not to mention the key to her future. So, I don't of like this sort of reminds me, like it has the same sort of similar storyline in a way of pretty much their lover comes back to town into their life when it comes to music. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this, but I'm definitely gonna have to read this in July. But this is definitely gonna be something that I plan on reading before the year is over. So I have this one. Next book, I got this from my Owl Crate book box for May, and that is The Ones We're Meant to Find. And this is an exclusive cover, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more purplish than the other cover, which I really do like this cover a lot. And I heard a lot about this book. I do planning on reading it. Hopefully I get this book read sometime. I think I might read this in July as well. But I've heard a lot of great things about it. And like if you open the book, this is what the end pages look like. So that's really pretty. And this is what it looks like when you take the cover off. So that's really cool. And so let me read the synopsis for this one. I might as well read all synopsis for each book, possibly. So it says, it's been 3 years and 17 days since C woke up on the shore of an abandoned island. She has no idea how she came to be marooned or what her life was like before. She has only the rickety house by the sea, the android she built for company, and a single memory. Somewhere beyond the horizon, she has a sister, and it's up to C to escape the island and find her. A world away, 16-year-old STEM prodigy Casey is also looking to escape from the science she once believed in and from her home. The eco-cities, Earth's last unpolluted habitats, are meant to be a sanctuary for those from deserving lineages, for those committed to planetary protection, but instead they're populated by people willing to do anything for refuge, even lie. After a series of man-made disasters rock the planet, Casey must decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who mattered most to her. From Joan He, which I think I'm saying the author's name right, the critically acclaimed author of Descendant of the Crane, comes a stunning science fiction novel with mind-blowing twists. So, yes. It's science fiction, which I haven't read any science fiction books this year yet, which this will fit into it so that I can read a science fiction book. So I got this book as well. Next book is from a publisher, and I'm also part of the team, and that is Ace of Spades. This book is going to be released on June the 1st, so go ahead and pre-order it if you haven't. So this is the US cover. I think the UK edition is a little bit different, but I love both covers. They're really, really beautiful. But just this book I just love the cover so much. And so for this book, it says, all you need to know is I'm here to divide and conquer like all great tyrants do. It says, when two Nivus Private Academy students, Devon Richards and Giamaka Adebayo, are selected to be part of the elite school's senior prefects, it looks like their year is off to an amazing start. After all, not only does it look great on college applications, but it officially puts them in the running for valedictorian too. Shortly after the announcement is made, though, someone who goes by Aces begins sending anonymous text messages to reveal secrets about the two of them that turn their lives upside down and threaten every aspect of their carefully planned futures. As Aces shows no sign of stopping, what seemed like a stick prank quickly turns into a dangerous game. With all the cards stacked against them, can Devon and Chiamaka stop Aces before things become incredibly deadly? With heart-pounding suspense and relevant social commentary comes a high-octane thriller from debut author Farida Abike Yamide. So, yeah, comes out, like I said, in June 1st. So go ahead and pre-order this. But, yeah, love the cover of this book. So beautiful. Next book I also got from publisher, which I'm going to be reading this to my kids, is Little Kid, Big City. This is London, and this is Pick Your Own Path Through London. And this is written by Beth Beckman and illustrations by Holly Mayer. So my kids love the one where it's in New York. Now this one's going to be in London. So pretty much you get to pick where you want to go. So I pretty much let my daughter take a turn and pick where we want to go. And then for my son, I let him pick where we should go, where it's involving London, where we go see Big Ben or what have you, or the bridge. It just takes you to different locations in London that are pretty much a lot like tourist sites. So yeah, I read the New York one with my kids and they really, really, really love it. So I definitely can't wait to start reading this with them. And then last but not least, I had gotten this package from a publisher, and I believe from Penguin Teen, and I'm so excited to read this. So here is the box. It says The Hunt Begins. So this book will be coming out September the 28th of this year. And then right here on the very front, it says, enter the world of the highly anticipated YA fantasy series opener from debut author Ariatni Gray. So that's what it says right here. So let me go ahead and open this. So this is what it looks like when you open it, with the little squigglies right there. So here this is, and then when you open it, this is what pops out right here. Look at that. So this is the book, which I'm so excited to read. It says The Hunt Begins, Beast of Prey, right here. And like I said, this comes out September of this year. So you gotta pre-order it, you guys. You gotta pre-order it. But I'm so excited to read this. So let me go ahead and read this right here. So it says, Unleash the Beast. Unleash the Beast. In this much anticipated series opener, fate binds Coffee, a girl with the power strong enough to ward off a vicious beast, and Ekon, a destined son of six warrior, together as they strike a dangerous alliance and enter the greater jungle, a world steeped in wild, frightening magic and untold dangers. The hunt begins, but it quickly becomes unclear whether they are the hunters or the hunted. It says, perfect for fans of the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, the Ember and the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. And then it says, dear bookseller, or whoever, it says, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Ariatni Gray's Beast of Prey, When I first sat down to read Ariatni's debut on submission, it felt as if she had spirited me away to a uniquely different place and time that also held the comfort of an old friend. I was completely enthralled. Beast of Prey is the very best of what fantasy has to offer in writing, narration, world building, and characterization. And how I love these characters. Coffee, an indentured servant indebted to the infamous Night Zoo, is my favorite kind of heroine. She's smart, willful, fiercely independent, and daring. Ekon, the son of a decorated hero, is soulful and kind, and there's a wonderful sense of vulnerability to his characterization that stands in direct opposition of toxic masculinity. He also knows how to tell a good yo mama joke. Watching these two learn from each other and the slow burn of their romance deserves no less than a chef's kiss. Deeply steeped in Pan-African influence, Beast of Prey is a very personal book for Ariatni and partly grew out of her visit to the continent. You can feel that influence in the very bones of the book and the breathless intimacy of its telling. I do hope you enjoy. And then on this part, it says, Fun Facts by Ariatni Gray. It says, I had been cage diving with great white sharks. Incidentally, none were interested in being my friend. I want to do that so much. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I really want to do that. I really want to cage dive with sharks. It says, I can probably tell you more than you ever wanted to know about elephants, as they're my favorite animal. It says, I have traveled to 4 continents so far and lived in Australia for a year. And then it also says, I am the adopted mama of a 3,000-pound baby rhino named Apollo who lives in Kenya. Wow, that's amazing. And then on the back, it even says, nightmares hunt like beasts of prey, only vanquished in the light of day. Right there. Oh my gosh. So I'm super excited to read this. And even on the back, it gives you more detail what it's about. It says, there's no such thing as magic in the broken city of Lokosa. No one knows this better than 16-year-old Coffee, who holds a power within her that, if discovered, could cost her life. Indentured to the notorious Night Zoo, Coffee knows the fearsome creatures in her care and paying off her family's debts to secure their eventual freedom can be her only focus. And it says, but the night those she loves are, Lord, I can't read right now. It says, but the night those she loves are gravely threatened by the zoo's cruel master, Coffee finally unleashes the power she doesn't fully understand, upending her life completely. As the second son of a decorated hero, Ekon is all but destined to become a son of the Six, an elite warrior, and uphold a family legacy. But on the night of his final rite of passage, Ekon encounters not only the Shaitani, a vicious monster that has plagued the city for nearly a century and stalks his nightmares, but also Coffee, who seems to have the power to ward off the beast. Coffee's power, ultimately saves Ikon's life, but his choice to let her escape dooms his hopes of becoming a warrior. Desperate to redeem himself, Ikon vows to hunt the Shaitani and end its reign of terror, but he can't do it alone. Meanwhile, Coffee believes finding the Shaitani could also be the key to solving her own problems. Coffee and Ikon form a tentative alliance and together enter the greater jungle, a world steeped in wild, frightening magic and untold dangers. The hunt begins, but it quickly becomes unclear whether they are the hunters or the hunted. Whew, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. This sounds so interesting and so good. I think it's a book that I haven't really read personally, so I love that it's going to be a different storyline from other books I have read. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. So this is another book, and that's the last book of my book haul. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.